Okay, so today's video is not going to be a pretty video, but I think it's a video that had to be done because this is something that I was not expecting at this point in my life. Now keep in mind, if you've been watching me for a very long time, you remember that I did a video about being a foot model, and I shared what my feet looked like in that video, and it was actually quite funny. So I don't know if I'll be able to find that video because it was a very long time ago. If I can find it, I will link it below. But today we are going to do a video about something that I don't think many people talk about, and that is how ugly toenails get as we age. And I'm somebody who takes care of my feet. I do regular pedicures, and something I have noticed in the last year is my toenails are almost, the big toes have become a little bit concave, and some of them are really thickening. I did go see a podiatrist, and I don't have any fungus or anything like that. He said it's simply old age, and there was really nothing I could do about it. Does that sound familiar? It does to me. Anyway, so we are going to talk about aging toenails, and I hope this video will tell you everything you need to know about the aging toenail and what you can do at home to make them look more presentable. So what I thought I would do is I'm going to add little clips in here. I actually went into my shower and did everything that I have been focusing on now, because it's very different from the way I used to treat my feet. Now I'm focused in on the actual toenail and the dry skin. I still have calluses. I've always had calluses, but I did not have the toenail problem. And now it's almost like crusty, ugly skin, as you can see around my toenails. So this is where discipline and consistency will come into play. So hopefully in a month, I'll be able to come back and show you that I really do have feet worthy of being a model. I'm not kidding, I have ugly feet, always have. So the steps I do, and there's about 10 or 12 of them, and it really does not take a lot of time. And first we need to soak. So I thought I would just share the products that I'm using. You don't have to use what I'm using. You can research and find whatever products suit you, but I kind of did the work for you. So you can either make extra work for yourself or just follow along with the products that I use. So the first thing I do is I'm going to use the Dr. Teal's. This is the Deep Hydration, quenches and moisturizes skin with omega fatty acids, botanical enzymes, and triple magnesium complex. This is a blended salt soak. And I really like, I've used Dr. Teal's. Any of them would be fine. This one actually smells really nice. And it does say that it has the triple magnesium complex, it has the omega fatty acids, and it also has the botanical enzymes, which will start the breakdown of the dead skin, so you don't have to work so hard. So I do soak, and all I do is I take a bowl, as I'm showing you, and I fill it with warm water. Here's the thing, you don't want to use hot water, you want to use warm. That is something that I have to practice because I love me some hot water. So I make sure that the water is only warm, a little bit more than tepid, but warm. It's not hot. I can put my feet right in and no problems at all. And then I allow them to soak for at least 10 minutes. And you don't really have to do much more than 20 minutes, but at least 10 minutes. And this is something that you have to do weekly. If you can do it 2 times a week, that will be better, because a thickened nail needs to be softened slightly. You don't want to be aggressive with them. It doesn't serve you any purpose. It's like cutting a toenail that you know is going to be ingrown if you cut it too short, but you go ahead and you do it anyway, and then you suffer with an ingrown toenail. Now, I have stopped getting professional manicures, and I have stopped wearing nail polish. Now, if you're someone who wears nail polish all the time, you know sometimes when they take the nail polish off, you'll see like a cloudiness underneath it. I like to give myself a break there. So I'm not going to be putting any polish at all. I'm only going to be using oils to make my nails look a little bit better while I'm going through this process. All right, so the next thing I do is I have a little foot scrubby here. I will have it all listed and linked below for you. So I take my little scrubby brush. Now this, you can use any shower gel that you have in your shower. I have my Cuticle, which I have used, and I do like this one because it has a lot of glycerin in it, so that's very hydrating for the skin. But I want to make sure that I really scrub the toenails, because if there's dirt and stuff hanging out underneath, it's going to prevent my nails from really looking their best and maybe healing up a little bit. Now remember, we have to approach aging with a realistic outlook. We cannot hope for 25-year-old toes again or skin. We must be realistic. We just want them to look the best they can at this stage of the game. So you can go in with your Cuticle and you just put it on your brush and scrub, or any shower gel you have. Now this one here is a persimmon body wash, because I'm always worried that, well, maybe my feet are stinking down there in the toe area. I don't know. So I saw this advertised on Instagram and I decided to go ahead and get it. You know, I need to get my, here it is. I need to get my zoom lens. So this one here is a natural deodorant soap for men and women, and it's for body odor control, a child's urine odor, nonenal odor, that's the odor that you get. Some people, as they age, just stink. And then smelly feet. So I thought, okay. So I just put a little bit on the brush and I really scrub my toes. And this is not a rough brush. If these are too rough for you, you can get a softer brush. It doesn't matter. Don't go for hardness or strength thinking that's going to be better. Go for something that's comfortable for you. So I just scrub my toes lightly with this, just to make sure that they are really clean. I find, and I have asked people about this, I find that people don't really wash their feet. Now, I've always been someone who washes my feet, but I'm taking a little extra care in the toenail area, okay? So use your favorite shower gel, or if you want to try this, if you think your feet stink and you want to go for this, I still have my burn from my popcorn, okay? This one here healed up nicely, but this one here, not so much. Anyway, another thing, this is brand new to me and I was really excited. I actually saved the box because I wanted you to see how pretty it is. And this is from Cuticle. You know that I love it, and they came out with soap on a rope. Now, if you're as old as me, you'll remember soap on a rope. We had them with everything. And this one here is in the This one here is in the Bergamot Bond, and I have the shower gel at home, the body cream at home, and when I say home, I mean in Florida. I'm still in New York for 8 more days. Next weekend, I will be home in Florida. But these are brand new. I bought 2. This one is their leather scent, and this one here is the Bergamot Bond. So I used this to scrub my feet and my legs, because my legs get really ashy and dry here in New York because I have no humidity. So smells so good. Now it does have a little pumice to it, so it's going to help exfoliate, plus it's loaded with skincare ingredients to add moisture while it's cleansing. So I do love this. So I did do a scrub just to show the different things that you can use. But these are fabulous. The smell is so nice of the Bergamot Bond. And this one here is leather, so it's black. And these, you can use this if you're a guy or a girl, it doesn't matter. But I was excited to share those with you. All right, so we've done a little bit of scrubbing on our feet. The next thing you're gonna do is dry your feet off, just with a towel. But you want to make sure that you're drying the nail and drying in between the toes. I don't think people take enough time to dry their feet. And if you have a lot of moisture, that's where bacteria can build up. But I do really focus on keeping my feet nice and dry. I buy moisture wicking socks for when I'm walking, because it does make a difference. So dry your feet off really well. And then I go in and I put on a callus remover. Now here in New York, I have used this when I was training to be a cosmetologist, and we had to learn manicures and pedicures, and this is the product they used to use, and they had small bottles of it here, so I bought it just for the memory and convenience of it. And this is their callus remover. I put a little bit on, I wait a few seconds, and then I just go in with a glass file. And I think that's important. No metal food grader type files. You want to go in with a glass one. And I talked about these last year, and I still use them, and how I clean mine, because that was a question. I just put it in water and I scrub it with this brush, and it stays looking brand new. I use it all the time. It gives a very soft file, but when you put a little bit of this on and you've already soaked, you have really softened the calluses. And because mine are forming around the toes, I'm just lightly going over my toes, and I'm careful not to hit the toenails. I'm just doing the skin around to really break down those calluses. So that's your next step. You want to do a nice file, and I highly suggest the glass over the metal, and especially not the food grader ones they use in all these salons that we visit. I mean, it looks great having that skin come off, but it does a number on your foot. So we want to go in and file those down lightly. So then I dry my feet off from that, and I go in with a cuticle remover, and I just squirt a little bit on each toenail, and I just let it soak for a little bit. And then I like to go in with these. Now, we're not going to push back, and we're not going to cut the cuticle. So I like to go in with these types of cuticle sticks, and they have like a little sandstone on the end of them. And once you put this on, it softens the cuticle, and then you want to lightly go around the edge of the nail, and it will help to lift off any dead skin that's on there. Remember, we're just trying to make our nails look presentable while we hopefully heal them up a little bit. So we're just going in with this. I never go in with this. I'm not pushing and poking or prodding. I am simply giving it a quick roundabout, and then I will take it and just lightly go under the nail, because I have a lot of dead skin built up underneath the toenails, which never used to happen to me. So I go in, and this helps to just lift it up and loosen it. And I find these make a big difference. And you buy them in a pack, and you can buy them professionally or in stores. So now we're pretty much done with our treatment, our little pedicure. And in the past, I have used Bay Harbor Beauty. They have a Urea lotion. If you have that, or cream, if you have that, that is fine to use. I also have used from Isden. They have a Urea, that is excellent. That one has a little bit more balm to it. Sanita's, if you already have that, that has some Urea in it. And also, if you have the Prequel, this is a lotion and it has Urea. This is good because it breaks down extra dead skin naturally. But I need to treat my nails because something's happening to them. And I wanted something a little bit stronger. So I did some research on a few Urea creams, and this one comes up as number one because it also, not only does it have 40% Urea cream, it also has 2% salicylic acid. So, and it has tea tree oil, which is really good, and it has coconut oil, which is going to hydrate, green tea antioxidant, and aloe, which is going to hydrate. And what we're going to do with this is we're not going to put it in between the toes and rub it all over the place. You're going to use it exactly where you need it, on the toenails. So I put a little bit on each toenail, massage it in, and then I'm going to do just around the toe front where the skin is really dry. And I'm also going to put a little bit on that side callus that builds up on me on the side of my big toe, and just a little bit on the heel. And for the rest, I'm going to let that sit and soak in for a little bit. And then, because I want Urea on the whole foot, and I'm going to run this up my leg too, I use the Prequel Urea because I really like that. So we have applied to the areas needed, the nail. Before you apply to the nail, and I'm not sure this part recorded, I know that the file part, the glass file, I thought I hit record, but I didn't. This here is a London Town, but you can use any file as long as the grit is really, really soft. And before you put the cream on your toenails, you're going to do a light file. You're not going to use any pressure. You're just giving a light file to the thickened nails. You don't even have to do all of them. I did. And just a light file. We're not trying to thin the nail because it's thickened. We're just roughing up the surface slightly, and then you go in with your 40% urea on the toenails, okay? And if you have callus built up underneath the nail, get a little bit underneath there because it will help to break that down. And then I wanted to share this with you because if you live in a very dry climate and your skin gets ashy, my feet sometimes itch now, and nothing was really helping them. And remember, I went to the podiatrist and he told me it was just old age. He told me it was simply aging. He did say that trauma from just walking and everyday activities does contribute to your toe health. And that's another thing. When you're buying a sneaker, I buy Hoka because I can get them in a wide toe bed. That's very important. The Bondi 9 and the Clifton. And also there's another one I wear by them that I really like because it's sturdy. It also comes in a wide. I will list all of those. I think it's called the Transformer, but I'll list all of those below as well. So if you're someone who really is struggling with your nails looking really bad, it could be the toe bed of your shoes. You want to make sure your feet have some room to move. Okay, so this is new from Prequel. I haven't even seen it in stores yet, but you can order it online. And this is from Prequel. And it is their, let me get my zoom lens, it's their anti-itch solution meditated calming lotion. Temporarily relieves itching associated with minor skin irritations. And I thought, well, I love this so much, I'm gonna go ahead and give this a try because they have 2 new products. I also got the cleansing balm, and it's really nice, but this has so far has really helped with the itching. So I do like this as well. And then I wanna lock it all in. Now this part didn't record, but this part did. I wanna lock this all in because I'm gonna go in with some plastic bags and socks to leave on for a couple of hours before I go to bed. So you want to leave this on its own, let it soak in. So give it a half an hour before you move on to the final step before you go to bed. So, just wear your slippers or something so you don't slip. And then before you go to bed, you want to go ahead and put something very emollient. Now, some people love Vaseline. I don't love Vaseline. So it doesn't really do anything for me. So I don't like Vaseline. I do have it in the house, but I don't like it. So I'm gonna go ahead. This did not record. You can use jojoba oil, olive oil, any oil you like to use, macadamia nut. Jojoba oil is very similar to the sebum, our own body oils. So that's why that one always is highly recommended for hydration and moisturizing. But I have my Cure Nourishing Cuticle Oil. I'm going to put a drop of this on each toenail and massage it in. And you need to do this every time you shower. You want to make sure that you're at least putting some jojoba oil on your toenails. At night is when you would do all of this. And then I'm going to finish it up with the Tallow. I use this everywhere on my body. I love it. I have jars and jars and jars of it. I buy mine at Stumps. It does not smell like a cow or beef, nothing. It does not, it actually smells kind of nice. I like it. But I will put this all over my feet then, over everything. The toenails, I push some into the toenails, and then I go in and I just use the covers that I use for my hair mask. And I put these on my feet, and then I put a nice pair of thick socks. Now, the reason why you want to do this before you go to bed, if you can for a little while, because I can't sleep with this on my feet. Some people could, I cannot, but I want it on there for a good hour. So when I go to, really just start to settle down to go to sleep, I throw this on, and it's on for a good hour. And before I go to sleep, I have to pull them off. But you put this on, you don't really want to walk around with it because it can be a little bit dangerous, okay? So no walking around. And I also have this little cloth that I'll link below, and you saw that when I was using the cycler to scrub my feet. Get into the habit of really washing your feet. It makes a difference. So these are some steps that we can take at home, and I have researched all of these, and these are the things that really do help. But you have to be consistent with it. So you have to do it at least weekly with the soaking, and then get into the habit of putting this on a couple times a week. Anytime you shower, put your oil on, and then really lock in your moisture at night. If you are experiencing something a little bit more, like your nails are yellowing and they're crumbling and falling apart, you need to see a doctor at that point because something's going on. And if you have like black streaks, it could be fungus. Now, I saw the foot doctor, no fungus, nothing, simply aging. So I'm determined to help make it look better because I like to wear shoes that my toes show, and you saw the state of my feet in the beginning, very ugly, very unattractive. I'm sure the haters are gonna have a field day with it, but I thought like Bonnie Raitt, let's give them something to talk about. I'm not embarrassed to come on and share these things. It's real life. And like I said, we need to take a realistic approach to aging. We are not going to remain in the perfect bodies that we had maintained in our 20s, 30s, 40s, even the 50s, because I'm telling you, 65, I'm going to be 67 in November. Things are changing. They are changing. And estrogen does play a huge role in why things change in our body. When I got my order for the soap, I also bought this, and I want to share it with you real quick in this foot video. Why not? It's called, I got the Vanilla Verve because I have a wedding coming up in 2 weeks, and I want to use the Vanilla Verve as my scent with my outfit, and I wanted to use a little bit of an illuminating body oil. And last year I used the Patrick Ta, which is really nice, but the scent itself is different from what I want. So I thought, let me try this. So let's go ahead and just put some on my arm. This is what my arm looks like. I take my rings off always when I'm doing this. I give it a little shake, and looks like that. And let's go ahead and put it on and see how it looks. It smells so fabulous. And I think it only comes in the Vanilla Verve. Oh, but it's really pretty. Look at that. Really, really pretty. Let's put a little more on the inner part. All the way down. It's really pretty. And it just feels so good on the skin. The Patrick Ta was very nice as well. Really nice. Love it. So I wanted to share that with you. Okay, so that is it for today's video, how to make our crusty old ugly feet look a little bit better at home. Because if you go to your podiatrist, he's going to tell you it's part of aging. And remember, the toe beds on your sneakers also matter along with all of this. All right, so in the comments, let's get the conversation going. I know that many of you are struggling with this as well. Do you do anything, or you just say, it's aging? I just cannot sit back and say it's aging. I have to do something about it. And I will let you know in a month and a half or so, maybe 2-month mark, how my feet are looking, and if anything I'm doing is helping. Okay, my friends? Because I always did the standard pedicures at least 1 every 3 weeks, and never noticed any of this stuff until recently. All right, that's it for today. If you haven't already subscribed, I would love to have you as an ageless beauty. So hit that subscribe button. Right next to it is a bell. It notifies you of all the videos that I'm putting up. Until the next time, my friends, go out in the world, be lovable, and remember, the feet need love too. And if not, they're gonna look like a crusty old bird. I love you guys. Bisous.